Development LLC. Information presentation by the applicant. The project proposes 8 single-family residential lots on a 1.37-acre site zoned RS 1-7. That's a single-family zone. The proposed project is located at 3315 Ticonderoga Street. Can everyone see that okay? Do I need to dim the lights? I don't know what the light switch is. Turn the lights out. Hey, if I can find them, maybe you might want to help me find them.
Let's put a camera in there.
Get it, Aaron. What do you got? Shut it down.
I'm Michael Brecka. I'm an architect. I have a little design development company called Candlelight Homes. I've lived in the Claremont area for 25 years or so on different streets. Love the area. I'm building or subdividing a little property that everybody's probably driven by. Is there a speaker?
Yeah.
It's just a, Can you hear me now?
Yes.
That's really loud. So I'm developing a little site that everybody's probably driven by a million times and not necessarily realized, what's there. And what I do is I develop really cute little homes. That's just I've grown up in the area, and I like designing homes and building small little subdivisions. This is not, you won't need a red balloon for this one. So this is going to fit within the scale of the neighborhood, within the zoning, within all the setbacks and everything that is currently imposed onto the property. So I'm going to go through and describe the property. I don't have a huge amount of detail about it. I'm in the process of the tentative map subdivision process through the city of San Diego, so it's a planning process 3. So it goes through and build and evaluate to make sure it's conforming to the standards for a subdivision. And I'm showing this because this is the gates to my house, and I kind of see this as the quality of design that I'm going to be doing on the homes. And this property is almost like a gateway property as you head south on Moreno Boulevard. So the site is located, it's in the red shown up here on the screen. So it's kind of blurry, isn't it?
It's all right.
Squint your eyes. So it's this site right here on Moreno Boulevard. This is Ticonderoga. This is Toller Elementary School, Highway 5, Mission Bay. It's the okay. Another view of where the site is, just to orient everybody. So it's again the corner of Ticonderoga Moreno Boulevard. You can kind of see it highlighted here in this section. It's a 60,000 square foot site. The zoning allows one home or one lot per 5,000 square feet. So the zoning allows 12 homes or 12 lots to be developed on the site. I'm planning on doing 8 homes. I'll let you go through the pictures on this. I'll let you know. This is a view looking down Ticonderoga. There's an existing home on the site. And switch. And then this is the corner, and I apologize, my photographs aren't very large. But this is Ticonderoga, Marina Boulevard, and it's this corner right here. You probably have all seen, the big wall, the pink wall on Marina Boulevard. This is looking from Marina Boulevard all the way across, Ticonderoga on the left, and this is the edge of the property right here. And then this, again, is the edge of the property looking north up Marina Boulevard. There's a couple of houses here. There's a kind of neat but old and somewhat dilapidated old Victorian house right on Marina Boulevard. You might have seen it, it's right next to the school.
The Bird Lady House.
The Bird Lady House. Okay, I haven't heard that one. This is the site. This is what we're going to be doing. So it's 60,000 square feet. We're dividing it into 8 lots. The lots range in size from about 5,000 to a little more than 10,000 square feet. The zoning again in the area allows smaller 5,000 square foot lots for all of it, but it just didn't fit right. It was too cramped. So making the lots a little bit bigger, and on average they're about almost 8,000 square feet on average. And you can see the arrangement of them. None of the driveways of the homes will front onto Marina Boulevard. All the driveways will come off onto Ticonderoga. And so there will be some shared driveways. There's a driveway on this edge here where 3 homes are served by this little driveway. This one has its own driveway. And then this driveway comes back and serves 4 homes on the back side, back here. The result of it is no driveways fronting onto Marina Boulevard, which mitigates some of the traffic impacts onto it. To the next one. And then just a flavor of what the homes are like. They're going to be basically a couple floor plans, 2,800 to about 3,100 square feet, kind of a craftsman style, 2 stories, about 28 feet in height, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, living, family, dining, kitchen, 2-car garage for every home, plus an additional parking space for every single home. Most homes have 2 additional parking spaces. So there really won't be any impact of street parking affecting the perimeter streets on this. Go to the next one. Again, just kind of the flavor of the homes, kind of working with the craftsman style. I'm not necessarily going to mimic the birdhouse kind of street, but it's something that kind of plays into the style of the architecture in the area. So let's go back to the site plan. That was it. Okay. So I'm open to any questions. Yes.
Okay, before we go to that, let's go to the board first. I'll start down here. Michael, do you have any questions you want to ask? Okay. Who's next to you over there? There's the meeting. You ask the question.
I think I'm okay with that. I have a pretty loud voice.
Okay.
Hi, Mike. Sounds like a pretty impressive plan. I just want to, and I'm sure you're going to have to go through, with your review process and so forth. I'm a little concerned about the number of driveways that are also facing Ticonderoga, especially with, first of all, them being so close to each other, and just thinking about how residents may turn in or want to get out, and another one trying to get in and get out, and there's 4 homes trying to leave. Have you studied that?
Yeah, the requirements, and that's a good question. There's a couple different factors. What he asked was the proximity of the driveways and the stacking of the driveways along Ticonderoga. And we really evaluated that deeply. There's a couple different technical requirements associated with it. There's a certain distance you have to be away from the corner, which as you're coming around the corner, you have to be a certain distance away. This lines up almost exactly with the alley across the way. There's a little alley that goes up across the street over here. And then you're supposed to be about 50 feet from center line to center line of driveway. And so I'm just meeting that requirement of 50 feet because the properties, each lot is supposed to be 50 feet wide and by 100 feet deep. That's kind of a minimum standard. So this is adhering to that standard and adhering to the separation. The traffic coming in and out of it, as you can see, there's, you're right, there's 4 homes coming off of this, and we kept this driveway. We actually were going to flip this and put this driveway more in the center. It would have put more homes closer to the corner. And so I purposely pulled the driveway further away from this corner here, so when people come out, they have more view looking up and down the street as we're pulling in and out of that driveway.
Okay, and then my final question, in the length of that last driveway, do you have any issues with fire truck turnaround?
Another great question. You know this stuff. I have a hammerhead turnaround right here for a fire truck. So the requirement is your dead-end drive can't be any more than 150 feet, and then so they can get a hose around to your house. So this enables the fire truck turnaround right in this little hammerhead space right here.
That's it.
Okay, before we go to the board, working our way down. Yes, Lynn, you next?
Yeah. So, let's just say, for instance, you get a family in each house and you have 2 cars per house. That would be 16 cars. I know the area really well because I live like around the corner. But my concern would just be that in the morning and in the afternoon, the parents coming to pick up their kids and drop off their kids on Ticonderoga for Toller Elementary. I mean, they line up there. So have you studied that at all? Because they come in, various hours.
Yeah, and again, that's why the most important thing is the safety of cars coming in and out. You kind of asked me a couple questions there all at once.
Yeah, I know.
Each house has a 2-car garage plus 2 outside the garage parking spaces. So there's parking to be off-site there, so you don't have to have cars along the curb front. But again, keeping this main driveway as far away from the corner really helps with the visibility coming in and out of it. There is another street that comes across up on the other side over here. We are not aligned with that. It's a little bit off of that edge. The school, the entry to the school, as far as this side of it, actually the entry's on the other side, is way up the hill up here. So it is further away from where we are.
Yeah, the parents
Yeah, they
line up all up and down that street.
Yeah.
Because they're waiting to drop their kids off. or
Sure.
something.
See anything there? No?
And you said there's a house already there. Did you buy a lot already and is abandoned house or something?
So the question is, there's a house already on the site, and the house is occupied. It will be demolished. It won't be kept as part of the development.
And then these houses that you're putting there, there's a school to the right. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then is there potential for blocking anyone's views across the street of Ticonderoga?
The topography of the homes, the properties across the street are higher up on this side. So they're elevated above this. Well, there may be some blocking of it, and within this area, there's not necessarily a restriction on view protection, so to speak. But the topography of these homes are higher than this site right here.
I'll just take my turn. Is there any other common area? In other words, the green, that's all fee title ownership by the individual lot owners?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So the HOA for the common driveways, there's some kind of ownership association or anything?
There's a reciprocal easement agreement across the driveways so that homeowners that are sharing the driveways have an easement over that driveway and receive kind of responsibility for shared maintenance.
Okay, let's see. And let's just, I'll pass it on out to the public, and let me just say, we're not approving anything today, okay? And so what will happen, just to reiterate the process, is Michael has just submitted this very recently, because I just got the plans from my one set of plans from the city. What happens is he's going to go through an iterative process with the city, and they're going to start evaluating his plans. They'll give him some comments. He might need to make some adjustments. And once the city has made kind of a draft decision on it at that time, this board would typically then make a recommendation to approve or deny, because we rely upon the staff to provide some input on design characteristics. So just, it's good to get your comments on the record, so Michael hears them actually right now, and it'll be in the minutes. But there can be some changes to the project as it moves forward based on staff comment. So I'll start, let's see, where are we going to start? I'm going to start Kevin, go ahead, let me start.
I was just want to ask what the character of the border between the subdivision and the streets was going to be. Is it a planted landscape buffer or
Yes.
fence, road, sidewalk?
Yeah, the question was, what's the buffer?
What's the buffer along the perimeter streets and the new homes that will be built? And there will be landscaping and along the edges actually have a slope. There's a slope along this edge right here that goes around it. So this is a landscape slope. Right now, it's quite overgrown. You probably noticed it. So it'll be, cleared out and thinned out, and then landscaping put in. Each homeowner has, their landscaping and a pathway going up to their home from the street side.
Okay, let's see, yes, ma'am, I think you've been raising your
Been
hand.
waiting patiently.
Yeah, my name is Lori Vincent, my house faces Ticonderoga. I'm very concerned about the driveways feeding off of Ticonderoga. I do not understand why they're not coming off of Marina. As you know, that part of Marina is locked for traffic, and there is no straight-through traffic in that part of Marina. It's crosshatched, and it's only for a very short part, which is a turning lane onto Ticonderoga. So I do not understand why there's no driveways onto Ticonderoga, onto Marina in the farther part. The problem is, the school is not that far up the hill. This actually is the house that borders the bottom of the school. The buses come in, all buses pull in on that side of Ticonderoga and drop their kids off. And buses will go all the way back practically to the entrance to that house. I know exactly where that house is. That is a huge concern of mine. I drive down. The houses coming, people coming off of that corner of Ticonderoga to come and make a left on Marina is a blind spot. That having more driveways coming off of Ticonderoga to right to left on Marina is not a good area because it's, people are parked on the side of Marina. You can't see. You have to pull someone out. People are coming in. I don't understand why there is no. I mean, I know the house's address is Ticonderoga. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I think you should consider putting more access through Marina than onto Ticonderoga, because it is going to impact the school. It is going to impact the people that live there. It is going to cause congestion on that part of the street, and that is our only access to Marina. And as you know, living in this neighborhood, that is the way we go anywhere, practically. And so I don't understand why Marina, because as you talked about, the dilapidated birdhouse feeds off of Marina, the house next to it.
Ma'am, we understand, okay, he's got it. So, do you have a,
I understand your question. And why are there no driveways on Marina Boulevard, and why is it all being concentrated on Ticonderoga? Actually, the simplest answer is the city of San Diego is requiring me to do this because they're concerned about Marina Boulevard and the speeds on Marina Boulevard, the cars pulling out, in and out, in that area where there's speeds. And so when I originally submitted the plan, I had a driveway on Marina Boulevard. In fact, there's an existing driveway right on the bottom portion here but it's not considered a legal driveway. There's a little driveway that sits right in this corner, but they said, well, that's not a legal driveway. It doesn't service a legal parking space because it's dirt. So I have to actually take that driveway out and put in a regular sidewalk and curb there to remove that driveway. So I don't want to fight City Hall on that. They said they wanted it oriented where the lots would still face this direction, but the access would be on the backside. So, anyway, once I was required to do that, then I made an adjustment to try to get the driveway with the most number of homes away from the corner, so that at least they have better visibility looking left and right when they're pulling out.
But you're closest to the school.
Right, you're closest to the school, and it's from a traffic safety standpoint for cars coming around that corner, it was actually more safe to be further away from the intersection.
okay, let's see. Yeah, ma'am, and then Billy. Okay.
I just wondered how many lanes that Marina Boulevard are along that area.
There's one lane going north, there's a center island, and there's a lane going south.
I would be better if there were 2 lanes going up.
It would be there, it's actually kind of a rise back to your point. The homes that are just south of me in the birdhouse, their driveway actually, there's 3 lots there where their driveways face Marina Boulevard, but there's a white striping that kind of pulls cars into, collapses them into a single lane. So somebody purposely did that. The city's down there on the left, so we can't ask that.
Okay, let's see, I'm trying to, yes, Billy, and then I think you, ma'am, is a red.
Actually, I'm aware of what's happened in that area with those houses that had driveways on the Marina Boulevard. There were a number of accidents there because of the car pulling out, the car hitting at 50 miles an hour is a whole lot worse than a car pulling out and having to hit at 25 miles an hour on a slower street. So that is one of the reasons why there shouldn't actually be any cars pulling out on Marina, and I figured the city would change the rules on that. But, and so I think that's a great part of your design, so I disagree with your comments on that. But I do want to question, and my concern would be, I mean, these are fairly large, nice houses, and so you're going to figure each person is going to own 2 cars. And let's say they invite 6 people to come over to a little party, where are the people going to park if they have 6 people come over in separate cars? And secondly, where are your sidewalks up there, just so I can see the sidewalk?
Sure. It's difficult for you to respond when somebody has a party at their house. 6 doesn't sound like that many. Someone may have 20 people at their house.
No, I was just concerned if there were 6 cars, where the cars were parked.
Right, and where they will park, if they can't park in the driveway of the home in which they're visiting, they will park out on the curb, out in front.
That was my question. I don't see a picture of where.
Well, there's parking right here between the driveways, between these driveways, between here, across the street. There's actually no driveways right across the street right here.
So there would be parking across the street?
Yes, there's a curb across the street.
Okay, and in between the driveways, how many spaces are there?
I don't know, it looks like, I haven't measured it, there's probably approximately a car per space here. Let's say conservatively you're getting 3 or 4 cars on the outside on the sidewalk there, and then you're getting some in front of your garage door where each house has 2 additional parking spaces. Okay, and then your other question was about sidewalks. There's existing sidewalks wrapping around the entire site all the way down here. So that's all going to remain in place.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes, ma'am, the red shirt? Yes.
The sidewalks.
Oh, I appreciate that, thank you. See, that's what you should do. The question gets answered, shut up and let's move on. Yes, sir, right there.
Yeah, Michael, you mentioned in this map, obviously 8 homes, but you mentioned it might become 12.
It's allowed to be 12. I chose not to do 12.
So it's 8.
It's 8.
Okay.
Yes. 8 single-family homes or lots.
Yes, yeah, right there.
You live right directly across the street, actually, from this development on the corner of Ticonderoga and Eaton Allen. And I'm curious how long development would take to construct once it's underway. So how long would be the fact of having the building of this going?
Yeah, I wish my contractor was here so I could push him to get it done sooner. The site development takes, it's hard for me to put time frames on it. Right now we're going through the entitlement process with the city, and we have to go through a tentative map and the final recorded map and improvement plans and that kind of stuff. Construction is probably at least a year to go through this process. Just depends how quick I can crack the whip on the contractor.
Okay, Dan.
And let me clarify that. There's actually 2 components to the construction. There's the site development, where you have to clear much of the site and get the sewer, water, utilities into each pad where a home will go. And then there's the vertical construction of each home. And the site development is 3 to 6 months, and the vertical is somewhere around 6 months per home. And we'll usually be doing a couple homes at a time. So
they won't be all built at the same time, right?
no, you kind of back out of the site as you're.
Okay, Dan.
So potentially a couple of years.
Potentially.
Okay.
Hopefully not.
Yes, Dan.
This project is about 50 years overdue, and I thank Michael. We ought to thank Michael for what he's doing. It's a wonderful, logical, very logical and reasonable project, and I think the unfounded fear would be the parking, etc. I don't see any problem personally, but
Okay.
I'm very happy about it.
Thank you for your comment. Let's keep it going here. Okay, I'll go right here in the front. Yes, sir.
I've lived on Ticonderoga for 30 years, and there are a number of problems in that area. First of all, Ticonderoga goes up a very steep hill, and people speed down that hill like crazy. Price put a bunch of stop signs in that were supposed to stop people, but people on those stop signs all the time, and there's rarely any police presence, and it's a school. And so the buses parked there, and people waiting to pick up their kids. And I drive that street every day, morning and night, because I also manage an office building on White Town Drive. And the other thing that's happening in this neighborhood is we're all scheduled to have our utilities underground, which is also going to be a real problem. At the top of the hill on Dragon Road, it's a split street, and I think the whole traffic is going to be a real problem. When they're doing the undergrounding and the problem with speeding, I just think you're having 8 houses where there used to be 1.
All right.
Yes, I can't understand why we want to squeeze that many houses in that little spot.
Okay, yes, ma'am, right here, then I'll go back to Richard. Don't let me forget you.
I'm just curious, have you notified the school of your plan so that they can notify the parents and that all this brouhaha when it happens? Has anybody been notified at the school?
The city is notifying the school. There's actually a process they go through. So the answer is yes. I'm actually not supposed to do this. The city does it through a certain process.
Okay, yes, Richard.
I just have a quick comment. When I first saw this, I didn't see how this was going to work with that little lot. But since seeing the presentation, I think this is a real nice way to do some infill here in this area and get the increased density that seems to be ran down our throat. People will be able to own these houses, and as far as I'm concerned, it's a nice project. And 3 driveways, each 60 feet high. Compliments to you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you made choices for landscaping already, or will the choices be given to the HOA?
There's certain landscaping that we are specifying, and then we're leaving it open for the homeowners to put in their own landscaping. You know, they want to put pools and gazebos and that kind of stuff, versus me trying to figure out what everybody wants.
But possibly putting a kibosh on lawns because of water,
right,
drought tolerance.
Right, and there's a lot of different things that we're actually looking at from a sustainability standpoint, photovoltaic for the homes. There's a hydroapplication program with the property here where the runoff of the water is contained on site so that there's retention for each site. So we're going through a lot of studies on that to look at from a sustainability standpoint. But that's a good question, though.
I see another hand up someplace back there. Okay, I think, any last minute, okay, ma'am, make it brief, please.
That hole that the lady was mentioning on William Boulevard, that they just keep patching and go over. Someday there's going to be a sinkhole, and it's not too far from that development, so it might be something you want to look into and get fixed when you're putting in all your water.
Okay, I'm not familiar with where the sinkhole is. I'll probably run over it on the way home.